let's talk about this thing. This is the GI Sportz Race 2.0 harness. So this is the second version of the GI Sportz Race harness. So this is, as you can see, strapless. There's no straps on this thing. The original version was just kind of a normal pack. It had straps and it was paintball harness. Instead of using a strap to hold that pod in, most of these strapless harnesses have on the inside a little piece of elastic that goes over. So there's the top holder part of the pod right here, and then there's a tight piece of elastic that the pod goes into and compresses around the pod to hold it in place. That's how this works. That's how the Bunker King Supreme harness works as well. There's also the carbon pack that works like that too, but those things have been hard to get, so I don't have one. I don't know how I feel about strapless harnesses. Like, I kind of like it. I like the idea that I can just, like, you know, shove a pod in there and then it comes out easy. I don't have to like worry about the strap. But at the same time, the straps have never been a big problem to me. It doesn't seem that like I save a lot of time without the strapless ones. I mean, it saves me like a quarter of a second or something like that. My one concern with strapless packs is always that, like, say I got a pod in there and I don't know, I sit down and we're gonna simulate this. Bam, pod opens up, right? Or say you're running, you slide into a bunker or something like that and you clip the ground, pod opens. So first, that's my one worry about strapless packs. Although, I did use this dirty thing for about 1.5 years, and I never really had a problem with pods opening all the time. Every once in a while, I'd bump something and a pod would open, but not so much. So overall, I would say the race harness is made well. I mean, it's just like every other pack maybe. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'll have that big of issues. One of the like neat features we'll say about the race harness are those right there, those little Velcro pieces. So those you can grab, unvelcro, and this is kind of hard to show, but you can tighten it down a little bit more so that makes the actual pod holder a little bit more constricting, so that pods go in and out easier or harder. It depends on what you want. So say you have a normal pod like this, which at their like, you know, configuration that I got this in, it goes in and out, right? I don't think that's not gonna fall out. But say you have like die lock lids or the Virtue PF pods, I think, FP pods, I don't remember. You could make these a little bit bigger to accommodate that little larger pod. So having that adjustability on that pouch pod holder piece is nice. Other than that, it's kind of just a normal pack. There's nothing super crazy about it. Build quality is okay, and I do like the adjuster pod tensioner things. So at this point, there are probably 3 major manufacturers making strapless packs. There's that HK0G harness, there's the Bunker King Supreme pack harness, and then there is GI Sportz Race harness. So which one's better? I think that's probably the big question. They're all good. They all have their own merits. The way that the 0G harness works is a little bit different than those. So earlier I explained that pod holders like this, say the back of it, and then they have a tight piece of elastic that the pod slides into to create some tension to hold the pod in place. The 0G harness doesn't have that. So say the back of the pack's right here on your back, there are slots that these slide into. So the pod holder slides down and then Velcros underneath, so you can adjust that Velcro to be tighter or looser to accommodate the same way you can make it accommodate larger pods like the lock lids or Virtue pods. I feel like both of these, the race harness and the Supreme harness, are a little more secure in the way the pods work. I've also, with this, when I used this a couple times, the actual pod holder ended up falling off just because it's held in by Velcro. Whereas like these, they're actually stitched to the back, so it's not falling off. But that's kind of cool too, so that in the Millennium series, how they have a limited paint rule, you can have a hopper and 2 pods, so you can just ditch these outside ones and then have a 2-pack, so that's kind of neat. But overall, if I'm choosing a strapless harness at this point, Bunker King one. It's just made better, really. I mean, it's considerably better. When you hold all three of these, I know that's kind of a hard thing to explain, but when you hold all three of these, the H0G Bunker King one, Supreme Pack, or the race harness, build quality is way better. So I think in the long run, these hold up better, it'll last you longer, but at the same time, it is more money. So these are $90, $60, and then the 0G ones are $70. So we've got 60, 90, 70. But I don't know. It's worth that extra like 30 bucks for Bunker King one. It's just made better. Definitely higher quality. Yeah, and the Bunker King one doesn't have that adjustability though, but the pods are still pretty tight. So they're not gonna come out of there. So I guess that's kind of a race harness review. Sorta. All I did was review it and tell you to buy this. So, I don't know. It's better. I like it more. Do you have a strapless harness? Should more companies make strapless harnesses? What do you think?